Welcome to the channel once again, everybody. Now, I was going to be covering some more funny and personal content, but as always, as I said after the PR silence, hilariously, some big information did come out the day after I called out that it would occur. Interesting, a thinking emoji. But let's get into this one because I do think this is one of the more interesting videos I'm going to make. It's going to contain a lot more in-depth analysis than previously shown before. And there is actually a lot of fantastic content that is going to be in this video. So if you are a Resident Evil 2 Remake fan, you'll probably really enjoy this. And the spoilers aren't too huge, it's more a look at the behind the scenes production of Remake 2, and there's lots of juicy things to see. Now a lot of these things show you the production and all of the things going on in the offices, down to photogrammetry, mocapping, and many other things. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy this one more so than any other video, and so without any further delay, let's just get right into it. So recently, the NHK, which is the national broadcasting channel for Japan, actually got an exclusive insider footage from Capcom's R&D Department 1. Now they got a lot of special things to show on that, but they didn't analyze everything, of course. They were just showing some interesting things, and you're on the AvidExpert channel, so let's start analyzing some of the screenshots that I took from the video, and then I'll be showing some side-by-side comparisons to actually show some more exclusive content. So let's get into this as always. Now first off here, you can see that they're actually in the R&D Department 1, where all of the Capcom staff are working on Resident Evil 2's remake. There's a lot in this single image to analyze already, so let's get into some of the things that you can see. Now first off, if you look very closely to the left of the image, you can actually see some of the outfits they have used and designed for the characters that were used in the photogrammetric process to scan into the game. You can see Claire's Made in Heaven outfit here, the RPD outfit, what looks to be a trench coat that may be Ada's that they could have recolored in game. Surprisingly, it looks to be a butler outfit. I could be wrong on that because the image is very low resolution, but also what I suspect to be Leon's jacket that you saw in the E3 trailer seems to also be on this wall as well. So a lot of the in-game costumes are there just to be shown, and it is a very nice look to see that these are the original costumes still in R&D 1. Now we have an employee here that seems to be the real MVP, as he seems to have some kind of blanket on his desk and he just clearly does not give a fuck, which I give him props to. But you can also see a Sony PlayStation controller, which looks to be for playtesting purposes, at the bottom of the image. Now the blanket could just be used to cover a monitor that has some extremely important information on it they don't want revealed to the public yet, or this guy might just be sleeping overnight at the offices to continue his job, or maybe that's not just a blanket and I'm just completely misinterpreting it. However, there are some more interesting things to see as well. But the main thing to take here is that most of the testing does seem to be for the PS4, as I can see multiple controllers in the entire environment. This also ties in to the recent Sony tweet that was revealed where they were playing Resident Evil 2 on the PS4 Pro. Apparently some big revelations and news is going to come from Sony, or maybe it's just going to be the same footage we've already seen of the RPD, but the Twitter footage was seemingly at 60 FPS on PS4 Pro. Resident Evil 2's remake is going to be aiming for a 60 FPS standard across all platforms. To the left of the costumes that I revealed earlier, you can see some of the storyboard and character development images at very low resolution, so you can't make them out, but you can definitely see that this is the same storyboard drawings they've shown for previous games, as well as RE2's remake itself. Now, although this is interesting, it is unfortunate we can't see them at high resolution. However, there is some more storyboards as well towards the right of the room, and I'm sure they're littered and dotted around at angles that we can't see either. Now many people may have noticed that the noir costumes for both Claire Redfield as well as Leon Kennedy lacked an actual flashlight, holsters or anything else, and it looks like an employee here is messing around with rigging those things up and making them look better. I'm not sure where the flashlights are going to come out of, but it looks like the animations are still a work in progress for each of these costumes, because as you can see, some kind of arm or element remains between these two screenshots here, and it's just interesting that you can see the production here, even to the little details such as characters pulling out their flashlights and the differences between the costumes and how they're rigged up to be identical. Now there seems to be a mannequin in the office, which, if I'm going to be particularly honest, that would kind of freak me out as an employee, especially if I had to sit near it. But I'm sure this may come from Resident Evil 7, as that game did come and include mannequins, and maybe they're going to be incorporated into Remake 2 as well, or maybe this is just to help with the clothing and also photo scanning of those specific elements without requiring an actual actor each time to come into a studio. I'll leave that one up to your interpretation, but there's just a mannequin lying around Capcom's R&D Office 1. That's unique, I guess. I can't affirm this one completely, but it does look like some of the advertisement posters and campaign images have been printed out on full cardboard in the background here. However, due to the blurriness of the image, it is hard to tell, but it does look like that's Leon and Claire with the Biohazard 2 image underneath it. Do not quote me on this one though due to the resolution. But that's enough about Capcom's inner offices. There's about 20 PlayStation controllers, 3 billion monitors, and about 5 employees in there. So let's get on to the next images anyway. This is Capcom's Photogrammetry studio, which is built in-house into their actual building. So they don't use a third-party company for this. This is Capcom's own studio. And as you can see from Resident Evil 7, if anyone remembers that, it looks like they've heavily upgraded this room. Now there's a lot of money in this room already, but they've improved upon it vastly since Resident Evil 7, including a mathematically perfect board in the middle for actors to stand upon, and this will allow them to basically get the perfect scan for the characters to be used. And it does look like photo scanning still hasn't managed to get hair down very well. As you can see, the actors still need a fishnet over their hair to basically make the job of the hair being developed on programs like ZBrush easier for the artists. Now, as you can see, and I've already said this before, but there is further proof, it looks like the actors for the zombies are also being photo scanned in to give us the highest level of quality when it comes to zombies, and it looks like they'll be using a mixture of Japanese as well as Western individuals, which does make sense to be honest, considering America does have a lot of immigrants, and thus Japanese individuals in Raccoon City isn't exactly that far of a fetch. Now you guys should be familiar with the scene where Marvin saves Leon, and we actually get to see the mocap animations as to where this actually came from. Now this was shown in-house in studio, so I do believe the footage that we are seeing here is actually quite old, and Capcom decided to release it recently, or the NHK got permission to give us a little bit more in-depth analysis and insight into the studios. But here, as again, I'll show you where this footage actually was mocapped from, and you can see how clearly and evidently it is the exact same scene. However, in the mocapped footage that we see, Leon was thrown across the room, and the gameplay footage he was just kind of dragged slightly away from the zombie, so I do believe they redid this scene multiple times, and we're seeing one of the older iterations of that in this footage that has been revealed. One of the strangest things in this video, which doesn't seem to be related around Resident Evil 2, I'll have to get someone who I know is a friend to translate some of the commentary and also text that's shown in the image, but we have a BSAA outfit with the blue umbrella logo on it. Now these costumes do cost a lot to produce because they're customly tailored and very high quality and come to quite a few $1,000s per outfit. So is this some kind of implication that Blue Umbrella and the BSAA might be working together in a future title? That's some real tinfoil hat territory, but I'm sure you guys can all agree this is extremely strange, and this is one of the most interesting screenshots from the entire video, and one that's due worthy of its own entire analysis in a separate piece. This could be an implication the BSAA and Blue Umbrella may be working together in future titles and might even be uniting as an organization. Maybe this is for Resident Evil 8 or some kind of side game, maybe it's non-canon, but again, I'll be making a separate video on this one altogether because this one's absolutely huge, to be honest. I'm really surprised that they actually revealed this. We're getting into some extremely interesting revelations. 3 please. You can also see the game in some of its early alpha to beta footage when they were still doing all of the mocapping. I'm assuming this is from at least 1 to 2 years ago, and as you can see, the graphics look absolutely horrendous, like Resident Evil 7's alpha version, which just does go to show you how beautiful and how big the potential of the RE engine is at creating beautiful, immersive and aesthetic environments, because compared to this, it looks like the game is 1,000 or even 1,000,000 times better in graphical fidelity, and this basically almost represents the 1998 version of the original Resident Evil 2. I'll have to get a translation for some of the text that is shown on screen for all of this from a friend, as I said, and we'll be getting some very interesting things to see once we have that, or maybe the text is just mundane, like, hey, look at this is cool, or maybe it does actually have some context applied to it. But I do hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, there was a lot to analyze here, and there's a lot more as well. If you do want to, check the description, and I'll leave a link to the original source so you can go and check that out and analyze it yourself. There's a lot of beautiful and amazing things to see, and I just hope you've all enjoyed this. If you did, please do leave a like, a share, or a subscribe, or go on Facebook and call me a clickbaiter. Tell everyone that I'm disgusting and to unsub. It's absolutely your choice. That is the beauty of liberty and freedom. I just hope you're having a beautiful day. Take it easy. And Jeff.